Happy Mardi Gras, everybody. We are live and we're having trouble having our green screen work tonight. It's kind of like there it is.
Our
What's
green
that? Our
screen is
green screen went
our
away.
green
And
screen is
I'm wearing
gold,
an old
brown.
Mardi Gras outfit. And Jennifer, you're looking kind of sparkly, but there we go. We'll
I
have to
don't
see
quite know
how
how to
this all
describe
works.
you there.
Yeah, not too good. How is everybody? Welcome to another edition of Ask Us Anything Live. And as you can see, we're having all sorts of fun playing with our Mardi Gras image, and it's not working out too well. So we'll put that image up. That's an
Well, that
image from
doesn't
the
seem to be
Upper
working out
Peninsula.
too well.
Yeah,
There we
none of
go.
them do. All right,
Maybe it's the weather.
yeah, let's just kind of end that.
Oh,
That's
gee, now you're without a body.
hey, what happened to me?
Well, this is interesting. We'll come sit and watch what kind of foolishness we do
Yeah,
here.
so we're just going to have a blank background tonight. We don't have time to mess around with it, but we want to say hi to all
Why
of you
isn't
guys.
it green? Why is it
I don't know.
brown?
I don't know. The lighting is all goofed up, and we have strange weather. I hope you guys can hear us okay. That's a big thing. Boy, there's a lot of you out there already. I see we've got like over 100 people on that are live out there. So pretty exciting to see many of you. Let's see. Well, Ellen is saying Happy Mardi Gras. Let's start at the top of the list. Um, Patricia has. I can't find the link for that nifty little air purifier you spoke about in one of your videos. Hang on. Tell her about it while I go get it. It's right here.
It's right handy. I've got it in the room that we're in right now.
Yeah.
Here it comes.
Yeah. You know
Our
what?
daughter,
We should
our daughter's
switch sides.
looking for that as well.
Let's turn around and let's
No.
go sit over there.
Oh, Michael, let's do that before it starts.
Okay, there you go. There you go.
What,
All right.
Can we see it okay?
Look at that. When I get out of the picture, the thing came along pretty good.
There.
So I'm going to dump our green screen because we're not going to use our green screen. So there we go.
Okay.
We'll just have a green. This is the device you're talking about. It is the GT50. Can you see it? It's from a company called Green Tech, and it's a little plug that. Where did we get that? That was
We
at
got that
the
at Hershey. The Hershey.
The Hershey RV show.
Mm-hmm.
And boy, it really works
It
good.
works great.
It does.
And you can see we take it with us.
Yeah, it does a great job.
It goes in the RV. It goes in hotel rooms. It goes wherever we are. Do not put that down. Do not put that down with the mess I got back there.
Okay.
Got to tell them everything.
Well, you guys certainly know that this is live, right? It's not a mess that way, but it would look better if you sat that way. But
Well,
I'm not going to get in trouble with my wife for that. So
Yeah.
that's the one, Patricia, that you asked about. Patricia wanted to know what the name of that little air purifier.
GT50.
It's the GT50. It's from a company called Green Tech, and you can find them online, or I wrote about them in the on the blog, and it's there. So thank you guys so much. Edward is jumping in, our friend Edward, and he wants to know our thoughts on our new ride with the slide. Tend to shy away from such units. I don't have a slide. We have no slide, so can't help you there, Edward. We are testing out that's okay. It's the Wonder RTB from Leisure Travel Bands. And in fact, we've been working all day today making a video on it, and that will be on Thursday. We did one on the Ford Transit, the chassis it's on. We did that last week, and it was just so long to write about that and to video that, so we're going to do a separate one on the Wonder, right?
the interior.
The interior and the exterior. I did the outside and you did the inside.
Mm-hmm.
We'll show you how we use it. So that is the ride that we have. We will be driving. We're hitting the road Tuesday. We're taking off for Salt Lake City. But we've got a lot of stops on the way. We're going to do a lot of stays at Harvest Host places along the way, and that's going to be fun.
Mm-hmm.
And I think our first place is at a gator ranch, and we'll be doing some stuff there.
Have to keep an eye on Bo.
Ann and Mark Turner, snowy Colorado. Yeah,
Oh
snow.
man,
Jennifer misses the
I like
snow.
snow.
Yeah.
It's not rain.
Edward says it's snowing as well in New Jersey, and it's raining here in Florida. It is nice in Florida. Temperature was 72 today, but we just had a big thunderstorm go through a little while ago. So
The waves were
it's gonna-
beautiful.
Amy, looking forward to hearing from you. Snow in Greene County, Indiana. Would love to be somewhere warm and not have to get up at 4 a.m. to go to work.
Yeah.
Oh,
that's
that is
tough.
early. That is early, Amy.
Mm.
And Back in our home state of Michigan, Mike Stanley says it's mixed snow and rain there. Very cold in Milwaukee, Wisconsin still. And we've got Patricia jumping in from Melbourne, Florida. And it's always great to see Patricia checking in. And my shirt has problems. Yes, it did when I went to the green screen. I can't do it. We don't have enough light in the place here where we're at, and that would be it. But as Ellen says, it is Mardi Gras week, and down here on the Gulf Coast where we are, everybody is celebrating. There are Mardi Gras parades up and down the coast, and it's really, despite what New Orleans would make you think, it's a family thing. Most of the Mardi Gras parades.
In the area where we are, it is.
Yeah, well, it started not in New Orleans. It started in Mobile, Alabama, and they had parades like 2 weeks leading up to it every day, a couple of them every day. And there were a parade. There's a parade here Saturday night where we are on the Emerald Coast, and they're quite the event. They're a lot of fun, and of course Tuesday is Fat Tuesday.
So that means we have to go get a donut?
I don't know if they celebrate that around the rest of the country.
That's a Michigan thing.
In Michigan, we celebrate it with something called punchkis, and it's a big jelly donut. And I remember doing stories as a reporter that there were like 900 calories in one of them. So that's Tuesday, and that was pretty good. So thank you guys. It's great to see all of you checking in, and we've got well over 100 of you on already, and everybody's good. I think it's great. Thanks to our friend Road Trip Buddy, loving your digital book. He said Indian Lake up in Michigan's Upper Peninsula is his favorite childhood lake, and we've had a lot of fun with that book that we introduced it to you guys last week, I think it was, and that is this book, Where'd My Head Go? And that book is our guide to the UP. It's the first of a series of what will be 20 or more that we're going to do of different regions of the country.
This is a weird night. Now you're a bookhead.
Okay. Well, anyway, that's our book. If you have not read it, it's the Upper Peninsula Michigan 7-Day Adventure Guide, and we had a lot of fun putting that together. And I thank you guys who've already gotten it and told us about it. It's been really fun to hear you talk about the places that you plan to visit. Living the RV local life, Carlos and Renee, we're wanting to get a Class B. Is it better having the Ford chassis or the Mercedes? Jennifer?
Yeah, go drive them both. That's what I would say. I really like the Ford chassis. I'm surprised how easy it is to drive on the Wonder.
Ford Transit chassis, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So, and I've driven the Sprinter a lot, so go drive them.
Yeah, the Ford chassis drives more like a car, like an SUV.
I take it it's got to be like that in all the different manufacturers.
Yeah, the chassis is pretty much the same, and the Sprinter, you're up higher a little bit, and there's a little bit more room in the cab. But we have been pleasantly surprised, with a couple of exceptions, about how much we've enjoyed driving the Ford Transit. And that's one of the reasons we're testing this Leisure Travel Vans Wonder. We wanted to see what it was like, because more and more RV manufacturers are making their Class Bs, their Class Cs on the Ford Transit chassis. And so we wanted to see how that compared. It's certainly more popular now than the Chevy chassis was. The Chevy chassis not used by anybody anymore to build RVs, except maybe some custom builders someplace. The Dodge ProMaster has become fairly common with a couple of RVers, but I think it's going to be the Sprinter and the Ford Transit. Those are going to be the two most popular.
Ford going to be able to make it so that the driver's seat will be able to swivel around, or is it always going to be stationary? Because right now it doesn't turn around.
I don't know. At least in the one we're doing, the Leisure Travel Vans, the driver's suite will not swivel, so you can't use it as part of the motor coach. The passenger seat supposedly does
turn around.
When we did the demo video at the factory with Dean, the Leisure Travel Van guy, he said it was kind of hard to do, and I watched it a couple of times because we taped him as he kind of swiveled it. I cannot turn it around in the Wonder. It's very difficult to turn around. But I don't know that that's true of all the Ford chassis, or it's just the way they have that one configured with the Wonder van. So that was great. All right, Medicine Hat, Alberta from Nancy Jenkins. Thank you for checking in. Very cold Killeen, Texas. We won't be too far from you this week, Karen, as we start our trek north, and we've decided we're going to take the southern route down as much as we can through Texas and then into New Mexico a little bit. Two Dreamin' is just down the road from us, where we are here on Okaloosa Island in Panama City Beach, Florida. Thank you for checking in, and a bunch more of you from all across the country. So, Benoit Leclerc, are you thinking to buy a Leisure after your test with the two models? Well, we're only tested one so far. We're hoping to test another, but I'm thinking so. We're really close. Well, I guess we are buying a unit, and in fact, we went to a bank just this week and have a loan approved, and now we just want to make sure we're sure on what unit that we're going to get. So we are going to do a little testing yet, but we think we'll make up our mind here as we go to this big industry show in Salt Lake City, the RV industry. It's called RVX. It's not open to the public. It's only open to RV salespeople, dealer people, manufacturers, suppliers, and the media. So we're going to go. We're going to take a look at all the new different RVs that are coming out, and we're going to hang around with the folks at Leisure because they have generously let us test out this Wonder, which we'll be returning to them there. And then we are interested in looking at a Sprinter-based leisure travel van, and we're going to take a look at the Unity model. But we're very close to buying one.
I'm very fond of the Wonder. The rear twin beds. I like having the mattresses. I like having the beds made up. Bo loves it. He's claimed one of the beds is his.
Yeah, yours, by the way. He claims yours.
Yeah.
Now, you can make that into a double bed. You can sleep right next to each other. There's a little piece of wood that kind of flops out like that, you know. But the real mattresses that's always dedicated. They're made up. It's a separate room. I didn't realize until we played with that. There's a door that
for
works.
The shower.
The shower door can open up, to go into the shower, but then it can open wider and it will latch with the magnet, and it will actually give you a private sleeping area, which the bride of my youth likes, because I get up earlier in the morning and do all my work, and I'm not bothering you. Right?
It works out great. You're not bothering Bo.
Yeah. Bo. Well, I do bother Bo because I get up to make my coffee and work, and Bo then leaves where he sleeps up front and runs back and jumps in my bed.
That's true. He takes your spot.
My loyal dog isn't much. So Benoit, we're looking at it. We've got some financing arranged, and we're going to make a big jump, and we're actually going to be buying something, we think, in just the next couple of weeks. But we will know a little bit more, and that will be there. What is oh gosh, I knew that and I can't remember it anymore. I think it's I put it on the Facebook group. Somebody asked me that question. What's the OC, the maximum weight of the Wonder? And I cannot remember what it is. I want to say 2,700 pounds. That's how much cargo carrying capacity it has. But I'm not sure of that. I'd have to look it up someplace, and I can't look it up when I'm talking to you. But I did answer somebody who asked that question on our RV Lifestyle Facebook group. So if you just do a search OCCC on my RV Lifestyle Facebook group, you'll find it. And so I don't want to say what's wrong because I can't remember. Now, sometimes folks from Leisure are here watching this, and if you guys are, would you type that in, and we'll put it back up on the screen. So if somebody knows that, but I can't remember. I can't remember everything. I can't remember anything sometimes, That's good. You don't know, right?
I do not know.
Yeah. Ken says, do you guys use a satellite for TV reception? No. And tell them why.
We don't watch TV.
We really don't. We do not watch TV.
When we're in our motorhome, the TV's never on.
We have been 7 years. It will be March 7th is when we bought our first RV, which was a used 2006 Sprinter-based Class B. We bought that 7 years ago, this March 7th. and we have then tried out many other RVs. How many times do you think we've watched television in it?
We just don't.
Ever, I don't think. Have
No,
we?
No.
And even in the Wonder, I realized I haven't turned on the TV for that. So there are two TVs in the Wonder, and I haven't turned them on. So we just don't watch TV, and that's part of why we don't go RVing. And maybe it's because we earn our living doing TV, but there's not much on. Sometimes I will watch and stream a video on Netflix or on Amazon Prime on my iPad. But we don't watch TV, and I don't use a satellite for TV. But many people do, and I know that most RVs now have satellite hookup.
Mm-hmm.
So that's pretty good. Ann wants to know, how does it purify this thing right here? Ann, it's magic.
I don't know how it works. I just know it works.
And
then about every 4 weeks you
know.
have to clean it.
Yeah.
But I don't know what it does.
But it really
I have
works.
no idea, but
great.
it works.
It really works great. You can go check, and they'll tell you all about it. It's got some technology. But,
Right.
We bought that, and then we bought a big unit for our home, and it works really good.
Yeah,
Oh my
I went
goodness.
off my allergy medicine at our house when we plugged that in.
Okay, Mark, you're messing with me here. Mark just got a $14.99 super chat. How do I return that to you, Mark? Stop doing that. Mark is a friend, and Mark was with us last week. We did an informal meet and greet, and this is the Bo Dozer Fund. Well, you know, Mark, Bo is out of dozers. Dozers are a little chewy trick. They used to be a sponsor when they first were introduced on our podcast, and they sent Bo what we thought would be a lifetime supply.
Well, I suppose if you contacted them, if they're still in business,
Yeah, I don't know if they're
you
still
could
in
get some
business.
more.
But we did a lot of publicity, and then they got in a number of pet stores, and then they didn't have to be sponsored anymore. But Bo loves dozers, and so thank you, Mark, for the $14.99, and I think YouTube takes probably most of that, but I will certainly look it up, and if I can find some dozers, we'll tell Bo that you gave them to him. That was really fun. So, all right, back to the questions. We asked the purification. Let's see. Here we go. It's the LTV Unity that you're getting in Utah. Yeah, that's the model we're going to test out. We want to see what the B Plus on the Sprinter chassis looks like, and we really like the looks of this Unity, and so we're going to look at that, and that might be the one, Edward. I don't know. You'll have to stay tuned, and we'll let you know which one we're going to be. We chose the tow behind with no slides on purpose. There's slides, and then there's the things like the Unity has, which is just a Murphy bed, and it just goes out about that far. So you don't even have to have it as a slide, which is pretty interesting for, which is basically this B plus hybrid between a Class C and a Class V. But we don't tow behind would be a trailer or a fifth wheel, and we don't use any other tow behinds when we travel. We don't pull a car, or we don't pull a trailer, although I suppose we could. We may put some bikes on a hitch in the back, and that would be it. Do you ever use quartz space heaters to save propane? No, we don't. Propane is so easy to get. We used it all the way coming down, and I still have 65% propane full. So it doesn't get chewed up very much. And because it was very cold when we were coming down to Florida, when we were coming through Manitoba and North Dakota and Minnesota and northern Michigan. But we do have, what is that, a ceramic heater we use?
Yes, but we didn't bring it.
Yes, we did. It's there.
I didn't.
It's
That's
there.
because
It's
you
in
got all
this-
the storage
got
rooms.
this
That's why I'm not seeing
Massive
it.
storage in the Wonder. I did bring
Yeah.
it. Yeah, we did indeed. It is there with us, so we can see it.
Yeah, I haven't looked at what you have underneath in the basement.
Marcia Cummings says they're going to get 7 to 10 inches of overnight snow in Massachusetts. Well, we're waiting for this storm to go through, and then we're going to head off and go for a walk with Bo, and we're still wearing shorts and t-shirts, so it's pretty nice out. I don't know what the temperature is now, but I think there's a cold front coming through, and it's get down into the 60s in the day. Tom McAllister, looking forward to seeing you guys in New Orleans, Louisiana, and showing your showing you our new to us 2016 Navion 24. Did you get a new one, Tom? I didn't know that. Tom was always been in an Navion, so I'm wondering if this is a new one that you got, another vehicle. Tom is someone we meet on many of our gatherings that we do, and we will be, there's about, I don't know, 30, 35 of us. It'll be at a gathering that we're doing in New Orleans in the middle part of the week, of the month, the middle part of the month. In fact, we're coming back from Salt Lake City to go to that gathering, and that will be pretty good. Uh, did you go to the Walking Dead event? No, I don't know what that is, Mark. I don't know. There was a parade in nearby Destin here for the Mardi Gras, but I don't know anything about the Walking Dead event.
And about the zombie thing that we did a couple of years ago.
We did that. Yeah, it wasn't what was
They
it?
haven't had it for the last 2 years.
It was a zombie walk. We did
That
that.
was Halloween.
Yeah.
That was a long time ago. Halloween.
William says, "Do you have a stabilizer on your Wonder?" Not on the one that we have, William. Is it stable when camping?
It was. It seemed to be to me.
Yeah, it wasn't. I think some of the Unity models that Leisure makes now have automatic stablers. You can get that as an option. That's nice, when you go into those RV campgrounds that are not level. But we have never found a need for one in any of our Class B camping, and in the Wonder, we have not seen any need. It's very stable. We boondocked in it coming down and had no problems at all with it, and it's good. James says he's thinking about the Wonder MP. Is it the MP or the MB for Murphy bed? I don't know. Maybe it is the MP. I don't know that model if that's it. I do know that there's a Murphy bed version of the Wonder, and we've seen that. It's pretty
Well,
neat.
aren't there 3 different versions? The twin beds in front, or the twin beds in back, and then the Murphy bed?
Yeah, I think that's it. Front twins, rear twins, and the Murphy bed on the Wonder. Those are the 3 different floor plans they have. So, Lisa asked a good question. What's your most favorite adventure with RV living? That's a good one, Lisa. What is it, Jennifer?
Oh, we've had so many adventures. I don't know what to say.
How about the bear this year? The bear up in Glacier. The bear and the mama moose.
Oh,
that was the best one I
How could I
highlighted
have
of the
forgotten
year.
that? That was last year's favorite adventure.
If you go to our video on the RV Lifestyle channel and look up the most recent video we did on Glacier National Park, we took a group out hiking, and we came
And to take pictures.
and to take pictures, and someone wanted to go on a little further hike, and so we just taking a little short one, and we ran into a mama bear and her moose that was being pursued by a grizzly, and
It wasn't grizzly. It was a
well,
moose and her calf and the bear,
since
brown bear.
That's what we said. It was brown bear at the time, but I heard from a ranger who said it was a grizzly.
Oh,
So,
yeah, grizzlies.
It was a small grizzly, but I'm no, small.
well.
Small to us
I
is
thought
like
it was a bear. Just
it
a
was
normal-
big. It was a bear. We thought it was a brown bear,
Yeah.
which it was. It was brown
Yes,
colored.
it was brown.
But he was chasing them, and we were kind of between them. And then she came with her calf right next to us for protection.
I would have been very nervous if I would have known it was a grizzly.
Yeah, well,
'Cause-
it was the one perturbed bear because he
Yeah.
thought we were interrupting his
We
lunch.
did interrupt
Yeah,
his meal.
and we had learned that he got the mama moose's other calf the day before, and that was pretty good. Similar question from Brian, who wants to know what's our favorite destination in Michigan. All right, I'm going to run the Jeopardy clock. What's your favorite place in Michigan?
I like pictured rocks.
Pictured Rocks National
Mhm.
Lakeshore. I think that's my favorite too. Munising, Michigan is kind of the headquarters for that. There's a really great municipal campground right on Lake Superior there, and then there are a whole bunch of state campgrounds and national forest campgrounds along the Pictured Rocks National Lakeshore. And I think that's probably my favorite place too in Michigan.
And you go there in summer, mosquitoes, black flies. Be prepared.
And we wrote about that in that guide, the 7-Day Adventure Guide, and that's one of our stops is Munising. But we do suggest, and a couple people have asked, what's the best time to go? And we say mid-July on and up until really the first part of June, because when the mosquitoes come out, they are notorious. And then so are the black flies along the Superior shoreline. So
Fall is always a good time.
June and early July, yeah. Fall's the best time. It's nice. Let's see. Ray is going to get a new Airstream Atlas on April 1st.
How exciting.
Ray, that's a beautiful rig. The Airstream Atlas is another B plus. It's the first B plus from Thor Airstream, and it is a beautiful, beautiful one. Mike asked, "You think that every Ford dealership around the country will be able to service the Transit diesel? Wouldn't the 3500 require special equipment?" Well, diesel does require some special equipment, but Ford has so many diesel trucks that they sell, and I don't know if they still make the Expedition and if there's a diesel version of that, but most Ford dealerships can also service those, so they won't have any trouble, I don't think, doing that. There probably are some small ones, really small ones, that might have some issues, but one of the beauties of the Ford Transit is there's a Ford dealer in every town in America, and also in Canada, so you can find plenty of places to get it. So good question, Mike. We did like that Transit. If you haven't seen the video, it's up on the channel here, and you can find it. This is, you find when with a Class B you have to compensate, I think you mean by the wheel, a bit to the left when holding your lane a little. No,
No, we've never had that.
If I had to do that, I would think my wheels are out of alignment. So no, I haven't had any problems with that at all. The Ford Transit, at least the one we've been driving, it's just straight and true. In fact, you noticed that. You really were noticing that. Michael Anderson says, "We're thinking of renting a Class B in Grand Rapids and going through the Badlands to Mount Rushmore. Have you been taking this trip or any suggestions?" We
have done that trip. That was
many
the first
times.
trip that we took.
And we've done it almost every year since. Michael, on this channel is, if you search South Dakota and I-90, we did our favorite, I don't know if it's 7 stops or 10 stops in South Dakota. We found all sorts of fun places, and of course the Badlands is one of them. Mount Rushmore is another one. It's a great trip, and there's so much to see there. So, and you're doing a smart thing in renting a vehicle to make sure that you like it. That's my wife's advice for everybody. So that's pretty good. Ann says, "What loan rate did you get?" It's less than 5. I don't remember exactly what it is, Ann, but most RV loans are a little bit under 5. I think it's 4.8. If I'd have to go find the paper, and I think it's 4.8. Ann.
AR.
AR. What is? Oh, Arnie. I'm sorry. I thought it was Ann. And I have my glasses on. Thank you,
Arnie. For glasses.
Yeah, I think it's 4.8, Arnie. So I'm not 100%. What Unity floor plan impresses you? Well, Bob, I don't know. I like rear bed, which is what we have on the Wonder. I like the the Unity Murphy bed because it's a full king and you can walk around it. That's really cool, and it's a sofa that you could lay down on. That's pretty fun. And I think they're coming out with a new plan that they're going to introduce at RVX, at this big show, this industry show we're going to. So ask me then. I'm thinking of doing a YouTube live. We'll know more next week, and we can talk about that. But we're thinking of doing a Unity live, and we'll let you know. And it would be pretty good.
I wonder where we'll be next Sunday.
Next Sunday night, someplace in New Mexico, Utah, maybe Utah as well. I don't know. Next Sunday night, because we're taking off Tuesday. Do you like the living area of the Wonder? Yeah, well, a couple of things we like and a couple of things we don't like. I like the chairs. They face each other, so you're not next to each other. I like sitting next to you. And then you mentioned earlier about the swiveling chairs, right?
Mm-hmm.
The driver's seat doesn't swivel, so that doesn't become part of the living area. Passenger seat does swivel, but it's really hard. We have not figured out how to make it swivel. I saw Dean demonstrate it, and he ran it around. He pushed it this way and that way, and then he did it. And even he said it was hard. So we have not figured out how to do it.
Maybe it was that one.
But your pet peeve, a more significant one, has to do with
seat belts. There's only 2 seat belts, and I would like 3 or 4. because there are times when you have to drive somebody,
Yeah.
particularly grandkids. I would like to have that option because minors have to have a seatbelt.
Yeah, and I think you have, if you're going to take, oftentimes we're at a gathering where some people will have them jump in with us and we'll drive to dinner or something, and you technically everybody's supposed to have a seatbelt, and there's only two in the Wonder, so that's bad. What do you think of RV models with Murphy beds? They look like an interesting way to use space. Well, we just were talking about that, but yeah,
We'll let you know.
yeah, the one thing we're curious about is how much work they are. Now, you've set one up for a video we did a couple weeks ago when we were in Tampa.
And that wasn't bad.
No, it looks like you just kind of swap a couple of pillows, pull
Yeah.
something down, and the bed's already made up, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to have to get sheets for this thing? Yeah, we
Yes.
are. Yeah. We'll have to probably buy that in Salt Lake City if we're going to be testing
We
it on the
can
internet.
get by with what
We can get by
have.
with what we have. My practical wife. And do you wish you had a slide out on the Wounded? I think you mean Wonder, Cameron. No, I don't. I'm kind of delighted we don't. I'm not a big fan of slide outs, and so if we're testing this Unity, it's I want to see whether I think that's a good deal or not, and I don't really know what to say about that. But so I have not missed it on the Wonder, and I think it's pretty good. Mark asked us a good question. Are you going to follow the 3:30 rule on the way out west?
We hope to.
So, Mark, quick, do some math for me. We have 2,000 miles to go, and we have 6 days to do it in. So, technically, we probably could, but it's going to be right on the edge.
Yes, you can.
Yeah, but
It's not that hard. 2,000. 6
no,
days.
it's still going to be. It's about
6,
3.
12,
It's about.
18,
It is about 3:30.
350. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's perfect.
Yeah, so we're going to try and keep it for a couple of those days, because we also have to do a podcast somewhere en route. We have to finish up editing the video that we have coming out on Thursday en route, and we have to have time to stop and shoot videos as we visit a number of different Harvest Hosts places along the way. So
And
we have a
Bo
lot of work
needs-
to do.
Bo needs exercise.
Bo needs dog parks. My wife needs exercise.
I get cranky.
And I need them too, so it's going to be kind of fun. Amy asked a great question. I've heard concerns about buying new units and having to deal with all the shakeout issues. How do you feel about new versus used other than obvious cost? Well, I think that's a really good point you're making. John, what's your thoughts? New versus used?
You always have your depreciation when you get new. You have also the fun of having new, and I always think that used makes sense. And if you can afford new, go new.
Yeah, there are shakeout issues always, but I mean, I think
There shouldn't be that many.
Yeah, they really shouldn't. You should be able to, there might be a couple things, but not a lot.
I would think there shouldn't be any.
The thing about these RVs is that, and I think it was Dean from Leisure Travel Vans who said this, it's like a 4.2 earthquake all the time for them as they're driving down the road. So things are going to fall apart and they're going to break, and it's just part of wear and tear. But that happens in your house. Things break on your house. In fact, what is it? You're supposed to keep 10% of your how did that work?
Well, that's just maintenance on your house.
But 10% of the value of the house, you
for
should put that
maintenance.
away every year?
I'm thinking, I don't recall us we had new, and I don't recall things breaking. Well, I mean, things we were testing.
The ones for road
but,
trek?
well,
Oh
no,
my
for
goodness.
the prototypes,
Yeah.
naturally there were things there, but
Yeah, now we've had, when Road Trek was our sponsor, we had 3 new units that were prototypes where they were introducing and they were using us to help test new things.
you expect
and they
things-
were like lithium batteries. The first time they were like, we were back every month to have them fix those. And they learned a lot about, because we camp in the cold weather, and so they learned that. And then, and we had some issues with this early solar, the first time they implemented solar. So we had a lot of issues there, but once we got a production unit, it wasn't that many issues. So
there shouldn't be.
and you kind of lose out on some of the newer technology, or just something being new, which usually smells nicer or looks better, and But if price is a huge thing, I would always recommend used.
If you can get a used one that you can have somebody check it out to make sure it's
Yeah.
okay.
Yep.
No mice damaging things and things that you wouldn't expect.
Do you feel much 18-wheeler push in the Wonder? No, we didn't. That was one of the things we were curious. We know that once the Sprinter had dual wheels on it, because the first one we had single wheels, and we felt every 18-wheeler that went past us. But then we got dualies on the Sprinter, and no problem at all. It didn't porpoise. When an 18-wheeler be in front of you, that didn't porpoise you. And when they passed, you didn't go all over the place.
Now the blizzard was quite dreadful, just period.
Oh,
dreadful.
the blizzard we just drove through, yeah. Those were
North Dakota. That was awful.
That we had not only a stiff wind, but then we had had snowplows passing us. Oh, it was a miserable trip, but not much pushing back and forth. We were curious on the Transit, on the Wonder, the Ford Transit, and it has dual wheels as well, and it held the road very good. So that worked really nice. I want to do a Murphy bed in a Transit. Any recommendation for someone to do a build out? Midwest Auto Designs, I think they do a lot of custom work. I would call them. I believe they're in Indiana. Midwest Custom Designs, I think is the name of the company. And just do a thing on Class B upfitters and do a search for that, and you can probably find several that will help you. But yeah, by all means, it would be really kind of fun to do that. What are your thoughts on Leisure Travel Vans quality? I have concern based on Creativity RV's review. That's an interesting thing. I've seen her review, and she had some real issues. She had some repair problems. She's one person. I mean, one person. And how many other people have bought Leisure Travel Vans and have not had any problem at all? So, yeah, I saw her review, and I felt really bad for her. I think she's since sold it, but she's one person. And that's just her side we heard. We didn't hear the dealer side. So I don't know. I was always told that there's two sides to everything, and you need to know both of them. But I guess the lesson I took from hers is be very careful about who you choose to redo your repairs. I know just from their reputation that Leisure has probably got the highest best reputations of any small motorhome builder anywhere. And if you wonder what we're talking about, folks, this is another YouTube creator, and she has a great channel. It's called Creativity RV, and she had some real bad experience with hers, and people keep asking me, "Oh, you're gonna get? What happened? Did you see her review?" And I did, but she's one person, and there's lots of others who say that they've had nothing but good things, and that's pretty good. Repeat question about what's our favorite destination in Michigan. We just kind of went over that, the Upper Peninsula and Munising, Michigan. And
how about Sleeping Bear Sand Dunes?
I do like Sleeping Bear Sand Dunes on the
not quite as dramatic
northwest part of the Lower Peninsula. It's really nice, and that's pretty good. John says, have you ever considered a winter trip to Baja California? Yeah, John, I just started really thinking seriously about that this week. Some friends of ours, Jeff and Deb Spencer, who I think they tow a fifth wheel, and they just went with a caravan with I can't think of the name of the group, but a group of I can't think of the name of it. So one of the RV gathering groups, and they went down with 30 or 40 of them, and they had a wonderful time. We'll see them out at this RVX show, and I'm going to ask them more about that. But yeah, I think Baja would be fun. I hear that the food's great. They're very hospitable there, and of course, it's wonderful places to stay. Rob Prawl, what do you like about the Winegard Connect 2? That's this new thing on the roof of the Wonder, and I think it's also on the roof of the Unity that we'll be testing out. It is a Wi-Fi booster. So it's got a bunch of antennas in this little dome on top of the RV. So it boosts Wi-Fi for campgrounds or public Wi-Fi, and then it also has a 4G LTE cell signal. It'll capture that. It's not a booster, But because it's 10 feet up, that antenna, it does a good job. And we used it coming down from Manitoba through Michigan, and it did a really nice job. I would order that. If you all are regulars, you know we were testing out cell phone boosters late last fall, and that's one of the ones I'm looking at. The downside with it is it's not a cell booster, the WineGuard Connect. It's just a cell. It's just a cell data card. It's like taking your MiFi and putting it on the roof. That's kind of what it's like because it doesn't really amplify it. But if you are going to put your own data card in there, you have to climb up on the roof and take out the SIM card and put your new SIM card. Why they I don't guess there's no other way to do it because but you'd think they'd filled a way you could do that inside the coach because I'm not climbing up on the roof to do that. I'll show it on this video we're doing Thursday, and you can take a look at it and see what it looks like. One more question. How much solar do you recommend for Class B to operate everything for boondocking, like AC, microwave? I know AC can get a soft starter, but I don't know how much. Solar is not going to run your AC. We've mentioned this often. It's not going to run your AC. What it does is it helps top off your coach batteries, and that is always good. I would suggest at least 400 watts. Some people buy 100-watt panels. It doesn't do much. 200 watts is better than one, but I would suggest if you can shoot for 400 watts of solar. We have that on this Wonder, and I just did a test in the Florida sunshine, and it was putting 14.6 volts of power into those batteries and helping to keep them topped off.
Okay, now it has been cloudy.
And well, no, that was one of the sunny days.
Okay.
Yeah. I would urge 400 watts. That'll, your batteries, as soon as you turn them on, that AC is going to suck the juice out of that thing, and you're only going to be able to use them on a full charge unless you have lithiums for just a couple hours. So solar will help top it off. It takes a long time now to top off a drained battery, but it will help top it off when you're not using the AC, and you can do all sorts of other stuff with it. So I do love solar. We just did a podcast this week, and we learned that a lot of dealers and people are overselling solar. They're just telling you can run your air conditioner all night long on it. You can't. I mean, AC just sucks juice out of those batteries. So you'll have to turn on the engine and start it that way. That turning on the engine, one of the experts we interviewed in the podcast said running the engine. You have an engine, that's charging the coach batteries. Run that for 20 minutes does more than solar does all day. So for whatever. But you do need solar. It's a great invention. Somebody said, oh, Mike Wendland doesn't like solar anymore. I love solar. Always want solar. But I don't want to oversell solar and make people think that solar is the end-all be-all because it's part of your toolkit that you need for being off the grid. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. I hope so. All right. Well, we're getting down here. Oh, somebody found the question on OCC. Roughly 17 pounds. Yeah, that's it right there. That's what it says, by the way. Occupant, cargo, and carrying capacity. Thank you for finding that for me. And it's 1,317 pounds. The Road Trek 210, which is on the Chevy chassis, is 1,376. So you can see, so you got me and Jen and Bo. Bo is 60 pounds. My wife is, I'm not saying, and I'm not saying, but okay. And then you got some water, and then you got your gear and all that stuff. And you can get quite a bit in that 1,317, but a lot of people overload their RVs. So you should know what that OCCC is, and you should also know how much your unit weighs, because being overweight makes it really difficult to stop on time. It wears out everything quicker, and that's pretty good. All right, let me go through these really quick, and you guys are asking great questions. Bill says, we don't watch over-the-air TV, only stream Netflix and YouTube. Watching us right now on YouTube on the big screen, and they have a 2015 Unity with the Murphy bed. Well, thank you, Bill. Yeah, I mean, over-the-air TV commercials. Oh, come on! And then everybody's just yelling at each other if you're watching the news stations. Yeah, Netflix, Amazon, Hulu. Those are all great streaming services. But as we said earlier, we don't watch TV even when we're on the road. It's something about being outside and in where we like to camp. It's pretty nice. All right, guys, you are all awesome, and we are running into 46 minutes, and it's been great. Matthew wants to know, are you in your RV? No, we're in our condo in Florida. It is dark out there, and I didn't want to have to go in and turn on all the lights and go from there. Um, Chris, yep, Chris is commenting on our bear story. Yeah, we know a brown bear is a grizzly, and we know that there are brown black bears. But we were told it was just a brown bear, not necessarily a grizzly. But who knows? Dan says, "Do you carry bear spray?" Absolutely.
Oh yeah.
Always when we
You're
are
supposed to have one per person.
and we did an interview in the podcast. Remember that guy
Yeah.
about how more than a bear spray is more effective than a firearm. Yes, it is. It really is. I know
It's
people.
expensive.
It is. What is it? It's $49 for a can, but it lasts forever.
You're supposed to get a new can every year.
Yeah, it says that, but you don't. If you look at it, they don't expire. They really don't. But people will tell you that because they want you to spend $49 every year. But we do carry bear spray, and we recommend anytime you're in bear country, you carry it with you, or if you're camped, you keep it around the campfire. And of course, you practice clean camping. We do a lot of boondocking, and we really are big believers in having a clean campground without leaving food out there. Do you have any idea the insurance cost of a Class A RV if I drive for 3 weeks in the USA? I'm from Mexico. I don't know. You should probably talk. You could write a short policy for that. It's probably not too bad if it's only for 3 weeks. I don't know what it would cost to insure it. A Class A would depend on the value of the unit and, of course, your driving record, all that sort of stuff. But if you're from Mexico, just as when we go from the U.S. into Mexico, we can buy a short-term auto insurance to cover us in Mexico. I'm sure that you can do the same thing in driving into the U.S. And for 3 weeks, it should not be too bad, and that would be pretty good. Any problem getting Bo over the border into Canada and back? Never.
Never.
We carry his papers with us, right?
Right.
Always
we have
carry
an envelope with everything that they need to know.
Yeah. How are you broadcasting? Cellular or wired type internet? What camera mic set up for the great picture and sound? Well, it's really technical right now, Ken. Actually, no, we are over a cable connection now. This is Cox cable that we happen to have here in Okaloosa Island. And I do usually use an external mic that I plugged in, and I actually forgot. I was actually editing a video in a little studio we have here in our condo, and I forgot to bring the external mic. So I'm just using the camera from my MacBook Pro right there, and the microphone, the built-in microphone on the Mac Pro. So I'm glad that the sound is good. So that's all we're using now. Isn't it amazing how technology lets you do that? It's pretty good. Nancy, I'm looking for an Interstate B class from Airstream. No dealer in Medicine Hat, Alberta. The Interstate's a beautiful unit. You've always liked the Interstate.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a luxury unit. We just saw some beautiful ones at the Tampa RV show, and we look forward to seeing what they're showing in the industry show that we're going to in a couple of weeks. But the Interstate is a gorgeous unit. I can't help you out in Medicine Hat, but I'm sure that you've got one somewhere there in Alberta that you can find. And I would bet Calgary has one somewhere in Calgary if you can get over that way. And you shouldn't have any trouble. Good for you, Nancy. If that's the one you're going to get, you're making a good choice. They're a beautiful unit. Beautiful. Let's go through. I'm looking at lots of questions. Many people asking, let's see. I thought this was a joke, but Nancy asked, what about getting a parrot and a gerbil back and forth over the border?
I don't think they would care.
What do you got?
I don't know. Birds, you might have to check.
You have anything to declare, man?
I don't know.
Just a gerbil and a parrot.
But you didn't buy them, wherever.
Yeah, probably not. I don't know. Do parrots and gerbils have health certificates or health papers from a vet? I've never been asked about a parrot or a gerbil. they've
Seems
asked.
like your vet would know.
They see Bo when we come across. We've never even asked for papers with Bo.
No, nobody's ever asked us for
Ever.
any
So
papers, and
you should have them. Don't get me wrong. So if you travel with the parrot and the gerbil, I think you're probably fine. But
once when I was coming back in the States and I had Bo and I were driving by ourselves,
yeah,
and coming back into the States, the guy wanted me to roll down the window so he could see Bo. And I said to him, Bo was young then, and I said, I really hope my dog doesn't jump out the window. And Bo didn't, but I was a little nervous because Bo has a lot of energy.
here's a comment on that question that Ken saw the question. He says, we've had gerbil, guinea pigs, and hamsters back and forth. No papers needed. Not sure of the parrot. So that's good. Rob says, you're going to go through Monument Valley. We're there next month. Excited for the views. We're going to try to get over there as best we
I
can.
hope we can.
And Deborah agrees with us on the idea about seat belts, that 2 are not enough.
No, it's not enough.
Now, you can't take anybody with you. I mean, you can, but you're breaking the law.
And I understand that when we had our Class Bs in the back with the bench, there were 3 seat belts back there. And it was a rough ride back there, but we drove all the way to Maine
Yeah.
with our son, daughter-in-law, and a new baby. And we had 3 seats. We had 3 seat belts up in front, and the baby, got the seat behind the, shotgun. Yeah. And we bounced around in the back.
Yeah.
Took turns driving, and it worked out.
You could probably find somebody, since we're going to buy the next RV we have, if that's the case, we can probably find somebody that will install seatbelts for us, and we can look into that as well. Let's see, Melanie, I have a Murphy bed in my Winnebago. It takes less than a minute to set up and put away. Thank you for that.
That sounds good.
That's good to know.
That's encouraging.
Chris says the problem with Murphy beds is there's no airflow in the hotter months when the bed is up. But I'm not sleeping on it when the bed's up. I don't know if I'm not understanding that right, but at any rate, Mike wants to know, he says, check whether you can get to the bathroom when the Murphy bed is deployed. Well, the one we're looking at that we're thinking we're going to test, we have looked at. You can walk around all sides of it, and it's nice. It's a king size, actually. And that's because it has, when you deploy the Murphy bed, it expands out maybe that much with a slide. So we'll have to see. We'll let you know. Ann is a Murphy bed person on a Dynamax Itasca 3, and that's pretty good. 2 boomers down in Florida. Is it safe to leave your trailer while boondocking to drive around? Well, you take a little bit of a chance when you're in the middle of nowhere and you leave your unit. But, we've never towed a trailer and left it there. We're always in a Class B or a small motorhome, and we're able.
And that goes with us.
And that goes with us because that's our transportation. So I might worry a little bit, but, I think it's safer to boondock than it is to camp in a city or sometimes in a really big park as well. So, but that's a good question to ask.
Depends on where you are.
Yeah, and being situationally aware as what you think of that. Lots of more of you coming in and talking about Murphy beds. I love it when you guys have a conversation off to the side. And
does everybody like their Murphy beds?
Yes, they all like it.
Okay.
We keep our bed made up also. We just love our Murphy bed, says Stacy. Bill says Murphy bed setup's a piece of cake. The bed's made when you pull it down. I like that. And what else? There's a bunch more talking about. So I'm going to jump through that. And see if we can find some stuff. What about Leisure's dependence on Canadian or Euro parts and the impact on availability when you have a breakdown? I don't know. I haven't had a breakdown yet, and they have a network of dealers around the country, and I don't think that would be an issue. Sprinter parts are widely available everywhere, if that's the one we have. Ford Transit parts, widely available everywhere. That's what would really break you down if the motorhome part of it goes. The Carefree awning, that rips off in a storm. Carefree are made and available everywhere. There's very little that I could see that could possibly cause you an issue. I just had an issue in the one we're talking about now that we're using now. The step went out. Remember, this isn't a new one that we're testing out. It's been used by other media people. And I don't think all media people take as good care of it as we do. But the retractable step module fried, and we were able to get a replacement for that, just like that. And a mobile RV service guy came and put it in.
And those mobile RV people are awesome.
I recommend them over a dealer. I really do. If you have a breakdown in the road, go to the nearest RV park. Say, do you have a number for a mobile RV tech? And most of them do. And the one I picked here is down in Florida. It's called Lacey's RV Service and Parts. And the guy came over, and I said, where'd you come from? And he said, I just was up in Alabama. So they cover a wide area. And I used them once before on another RV we had when we stayed down the beach at Camp Gulf a couple years ago. And they're great. They come in, they've seen it all. They don't, they don't jerk you around. The guy came, and he immediately is underground, took this thing apart, put the new part in. I'm a very big believer in mobile RV techs, and you could do it. All right, guys, you're all often. It's been really fun for us again, as it is tonight. I'm going really quick. Edward says, the only issue I see with leisure travel is you no longer stealth in the Class B. Edward, I've never been stealth. Especially when they put that wrap on ours that we got on in November, the last one we had. Oh my, that was something else. But yeah, that's not too much of an issue, so I'm not upset. When you and Jen are driving down the road in the Transit diesel, can you have and understand a conversation with each other? Is there a noise issue?
Yes, I couldn't believe we're hearing better in what we have now than we ever have.
Yeah,
been able to have a conversation.
You can see us doing some stand-ups and talking in the thing, and I noticed that on one of them, when you were driving, it sounded really noisy, but it really wasn't that noisy. That was I shot that with my cell phone, with my iPhone, and that just picked up a lot of noise that we didn't hear when we were talking. We listen to audiobooks when we travel, and we talk a lot all the time, and we found that the Transit was very quiet, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Do you know if the Unity you're going to test out is on the new Mercedes chassis? Yes, it is, and that's one of the reasons we're really anxious to see it. It's on the brand new Mercedes chassis, and we want to see what that's like. It's got, I believe, that new nav system, new entertainment system, and I'm anxious to see how it works, and that should be pretty fun. All right, you guys, I wish I could do all of these. There's so many of you who are asking questions, and it's been really fun talking to you. I'm just going through really quick to see if there's anything.
And I can't help because I can't see way over there.
Yeah.
So if you're on your own, fella.
Yeah. How do you deal with doctor appointments, medications, and health conditions on the road? That's a good question. We've dealt with them all, actually.
Yeah, left medicine at our son's house and then got down to Florida, and through the drugstores you're able to get your medicine, and doctors, ask around. People are glad to recommend a doctor to you. If you just ask enough people, they'll tell you, check out the local hospitals, local we've been checking out. We should do a book about emergency situations in hospitals. Like every time we went out for a while, we had some kind of situation.
Yeah, it is really funny. We have found doctors everywhere around the country, for broken bones and for pneumonia. And we've had great health care, never have had an issue. One of the things that we have found is we're down here on the Gulf Coast of Florida a lot, and so we have started over the last 3 or 4 years to develop some local doctors here. So we have doctors back in Michigan at our permanent home, and then we have doctors down here, and then we're very confident as we travel around and that we can find the health care. But
I can actually get into a doctor down here easier than a doctor in the Detroit area.
Yep, and it's been great. All right, so you guys are great. I'm scrolling through. I think we've had just a really great connection. Would you guys do us a favor and give us a thumbs up? There you go. I love that thumbs up. And also, we're really excited to be watching this channel, our YouTube channel, growing. The best way to keep track of what we're doing is to subscribe. And there's also a community tab when you subscribe. You'll see that community tab on the YouTube channel. We often post stuff there, like kind of a little behind the scenes things, stuff that we're doing, and we'd love to have you be a part of that. Ask us questions or comment on stuff. And please, please, please do us a favor and subscribe to this channel. There's a little bell icon when you subscribe, and if you click that bell, then you get notified when new videos are out. Many of you knew, for example, we were coming on with this because you got a little flash email, hey, we're up live. So we'd love it if you guys would subscribe. One last plug for our book, because we really are interested in seeing what you think of that. That's the book. It's our Upper Peninsula 7-day adventure guide for Michigan's Upper Peninsula. I know many of you are planning your summer trips now. This is our favorite place, and that's how you find it. Just go to rvlifestyle.com/UP. So we got a lot coming this week. We hit the road on Tuesday, and we're going to be visiting a bunch of Harvest Host stops on the way out. We're going to be visiting a gator farm and spending the night with some alligators. Bo's going to make some new friends on Tuesday, and then we will be traveling slowly the rest of the week, making our way out to Salt Lake City, Utah. So stay tuned, watch the blog, rvlifestyle.com.
So how about the blog that you're doing? How about if we interview somebody at the gator farm and they can tell us about raising gators or something? That can be your Wednesday podcast. We'll talk about gators.
The positive side about gators.
The danger of gators.
You know the gators can run 20 miles an hour?
Well, that's what I'm talking about.
Maybe.
Gators.
Yeah. Hey, and I should tell you guys this because you're all there. We're always looking for people who have interesting stories that we can interview for the podcast. If you have one, just send me a note. It's just mike@rvlifestyle.com or send it to Jennifer at rvlifestyle.com, either one. We would love to interview you. If you have a story, tell us a little bit about it. Half the fun of the podcast is getting to meet other people, learn how other people enjoy the lifestyle. So, and if you know somebody we should interview, tell us about that.
How many people go to Florida who have pets? Is it true that you have to worry about your gators and your pet?
You're into this gator story.
I'm in the gators.
Yeah, all over. Yeah. All right. Thank you guys for watching this. We won't keep you anymore with our babbling. The newsletter comes out tomorrow. If you're not a subscriber to the newsletter, just go to rvlifestyle.com/community and you can sign up for our newsletter. It's free. And when you do that, you get special discounts on lots of services and you become part of our community and hear about stuff that happens first. And we love to share stuff with you. So thank you guys. Last comment, since we're talking about gators, this comes from Arn. And he says, alligators like dogs. They taste good, right, Arn?
As food.
As food. All right. God bless you all. Have a wonderful week. Happy Mardi Gras. And Fat Tuesday's coming. And I just got to find me a punchki someplace to get. I really like punchkis.
One shipped from Michigan.
Yeah, we need to have them shipped from Michigan. All right. Bye-bye, everybody. We'll see you down the road, on the road this week, starting Tuesday. So stay in touch, and we'll let you know what's happening, where we're going. Bye-bye.
Happy trails.